Hello everyone, welcome to Modern Chess Kids. Today I show the gameplay by Anton and Alexander, and this beautiful game complete in only 21 moves. And let's see how the game play. The game starts with the pawn to e4, and at this position, the best move to play this king pawn opening will be a e4 or d5 to gain control of the center, and this will equalize the black into the equal position. So in the actual game, the black go for a c5, and after this you give white a slightly better to control the center. So the game continue with the knight to f3, then d6, and now a d4, again trying to gain control on the center from the white, and the white is slightly better in this position. And if you don't capture the pawn, so example, you move a move such as a h6, the pawn will just capture, and after the pawn capture, then the queen will just capture, and after king capture, and now the black cannot go for a castling, and the white is better in the position. So after d4, this forces black to capture the pawn. C takes d4, and now knight takes d4. Knight will have the center knight, and it's a very strong with many activity. So knight f6 was played, continue to develop, and the white also developed another knight to c3. Then a6 was played to prevent the knight to go to b5. And here, this is the first 5 move, and you can see in here the white is slightly better in this position and in this opening. So after this, bishop e3 was played, keep on develop the bishop, and now e6 was played. And at this position, you can see that the black has a very strong pawn in the center, and white has already 2 knights. But in this position, it's very hard to attack from the center. So if you want to attack from the center, the white may have the chance to equalize the game with. So at this position, the white continue to see that it also have a very good idea or great idea to attack from the flank. The flank will be a file, b file, c file, or f file, g file, or h file. So this means this attack from the flank, or also it can be considered as a wing attack. And the center file is fully protected and very hard. So you have the 2 pawn, and it's very hard to attack. Therefore, the white go for a flank attack or the wing attack by playing a g4 at the move 7. So here you have a very interesting g4 attack using the flank to gain control of the king side and capture the knight. So here a6 was played, and now the white continue to play f3. Then the black also attack from the flank by playing b5 to attack, continue to push the pawn and attack the knight. So after this, queen to d2 was played, and now bishop to b7. And after this, you have the h4 pawn. So you can see that the white is flanked with the pawn on the king side. And after this, queen c7 was played, and now this is the first 10 move, and the game become white is better. So after this, bishop h3 was played, and now b4 trying to attack the knight and can get the queen, and now the knight just moved to a4. Then d5 was played, and the white just go for a long castling. And at this position, the black should prevent the pawn to push d5, and this is a very strong trade. So at this move, the possible game or move is to move the knight away, such as knight f to d7. But in the actual game, the pawn just capture the pawn, and g5 start to attack the knight, and the pawn capture, then the pawn will just capture it back, and this will be a very strong threat to the black. And if you move the knight to d5, then the pawn will just go for the attack g6, and after pawn capture, and here you can see that the white will be clearly winning. So the knight here will just capture the pawn, and this knight is attacking the queen. The queen need to move away, and after that it will be a fork. So the queen just can move to c6, and now the pawn just capture the pawn, and this knight you cannot capture because it's still protected by the bishop. So if you play knight go back to f6, then the queen will just continue to go to d8 and check, and the white is clearly winning. So after king to f7, then the rook can bring to f1, continue pin the king, and the knight cannot be moved. And if you move the h5 example move, then the bishop will goes to c5, and you have the multiple attack, and here it will be winning and will be made in 9. So if you make another example move such as a2, then the knight can go here and check, and the king go inside, then the queen will just capture the bishop, and it will be a checkmate in just 22 move. And back to this version, after g5, the pawn just capture, and now the pawn just capture again, and this force the king, the knight to move away. And in the actual game, the black do not move the knight, instead it move the pawn to capture the f3. After capture the pawn, then of course the white will just capture the knight, then g takes back the pawn, g takes f6, and here you have a very strong move by playing a knight to b6, and this knight is attacking the rook, and this is one of the brilliant sacrifice. And in the actual game, at the move 17, the queen take the knight, and this is a tactical blunder which allowed the knight to take the pawn, and this allowed the open attack by the bishop, and now the knight cannot be captured because it's protected by the bishop. So the queen goes to a5, and this is another tactical blunder because the queen trying to protect the square at d8, but here you have the white winning, and at this move the white is made in 3. I give a couple of seconds to figure out how the continuation of white to play and mate in 3. Well, congratulations for those who found the answer, and for those who like to enjoy the show, here are the moves. And in the actual game, after this move, the white go for a brilliant sacrifice with the queen, and the queen just moves to d8, and it will be made in 3. And after this, the king cannot move, and you need to capture with the queen, and after capture, the rook just continue to capture, and after king to e7, then you have a bishop to c5, and this will be a beautiful checkmate, and the knight cannot be captured, and the king has no place to move. So back to this position, after knight capture, and if you capture with the pawn such as pawn takes the knight, then the bishop will just capture the queen, and this will be a clearly better winning for the white. And back to this version, after this knight check, this position also you can play another beautiful idea such as a knight sacrifice. Knight takes the pawn and attack the queen, and if the knight takes, then your pawn will capture, and after capture, here come very interesting moves such as you have the bishop to f5 and continue check the king. So let me show you how the connection with the bishop to f5. And in this position, if you capture the bishop, e takes f5, then the white will just capture the rook and will be winning. And this will be winning a rook. And also the pressure of attacking with the queen still very high. Then if you play rook takes the rook, then here you come a very beautiful checkmate with the bishop to g6 and check the king. So after check the king, and now nothing can block. If you want to block with the queen, then you have a queen to d8 and it will be a checkmate and the king can't move. And if you move the king to e7, then you have a queen just take the pawn and check the king. And this resembles the typical pattern of modern checkmate with a cross, and the rook is controlling the square. So if you delay the check by using the queen, then the queen will just capture and checkmate. Or you can just use the bishop. Then you can see this is typical the modern mate with the X-ray such as this cross of the bishop checkmate. So now you have a very beautiful idea how to attack the king from the side. And with this, thank you.